If I show you this clip of Banjo Kazooie, you probably recognize the level. You know that this is Click Clock Wood, and this is one of the most iconic levels to play. It is an absolute treat to play, and it's a lot of fun. Now, if I were to show you the same level, the final level in Banjo Tooie, how come we can't recognize it? I've never seen this level before. But I remember playing Banjo Tooie, and Banjo Tooie is known as one of the greatest predecessors to any game that's ever come out. In fact, it improves on literally every single point that Banjo Kazooie could have done. But I don't remember this level, but I remember Banjo Kazooie, and I played Banjo Kazooie plenty. But I don't remember these things. Why is that? I originally thought that it was due to a couple of specific things regarding the collectibles, but I looked into it and I found some very interesting things. So let's jump in and let's find out exactly why that is and why I think some developers could maybe learn from this. So less is more in the Banjo-Kazooie universe. That's absolutely the case. Banjo-Kazooie definitely knew this. They made 9 levels, and in those 9 levels, there are 1,140 true collectibles. That's a really large number, but they're made up of jigsaw pieces, mumbo tokens, extra honeycombs, notes, and maybe a couple others, but it's all contained in those 9 levels that you can conceptualize, you can wrap your head around it. It takes about 11 and a half hours to beat the game, 14 hours if you want to do everything. So not a lot of backtracking if you really wanted to go that route. It's completely manageable. Now, for Banjo Tooie, however, I think a lot of people have it in their heads, and I did too until I started making this video, that Banjo Tooie is such a vast and expansive game with so many more collectibles that it's kind of hard to even conceptualize. In fact, Banjo Tooie has not just the ones that I just listed for Banjo Kazooie, but also Jiggies, Treble Clef, Note Nests, Feather Nests, Egg Nests, Jinjos, Globros, Cheeto Pages, Honeycomb Pages, Skill Stop Honeycombs, Mystery Honeycombs, Game Packs, and 2 different transformations per stage. That is a lot to manage, especially for a game with only 9 levels as well. So I originally thought that, well, it must be this then. There must be more collectibles in Banjo Tooie, and that's why I didn't play all the way through it. Well, as it turns out, I did the math, and it's actually about 900 collectibles. However, the game takes 17 hours to beat, and 23 hours if you want to do the entire thing. So fewer collectibles, but the game takes so much longer to beat. And yet, it's still remembered as a game that did everything right in comparison to Banjo-Kazooie. It has more content, it has more all of the things that you could want from a Banjo-Kazooie game, and yet it's still missing something, right? I don't remember Banjo-Tooie like I remember Banjo-Kazooie. Why is that? I had both of them, I played both of them, but I think it's because I wasn't able to actually finish Banjo Tooie. Banjo Tooie suffers from a problem that Banjo Kazooie doesn't because the levels are too big and the collectibles are spread out a little bit too much. Banjo Kazooie still ranks very highly on one of the games that has the most collectibles that you could possibly have, 1,140, and it's on list with Mario Odyssey, Jak and Daxter, Donkey Kong 64, Spyro. It's up there with the greats. And yet, Banjo Tooie, when you ask the question, which has more, I think your initial response would definitely be Banjo Tooie. And that was mine, and that was many other people's too. I even found this post where people were arguing, what has more collectibles? Is it Donkey Kong 64, which has 3 times the amount of collectibles as Banjo Kazooie, or Banjo Tooie? And then this person points out correctly that, well, actually, Banjo Tooie doesn't even have as many collectibles as Banjo Kazooie, so I don't even know why we're comparing these two. But anyway, I think that that's something very interesting. It's a very interesting phenomenon that we remember as Banjo Tooie as being a game with so many more collectibles, and yet it has fewer, but the game still takes longer to beat. So I think that there's something there that we kind of want to take from. Games have been kind of going both ways in some cases. Indie games like Donkey's new Animal Well has a fantastic game. It takes 6.5 hours to beat. Now, I know it doesn't exactly fit in the Collectathon category, but it has a lot of similar motifs, so I think that it's fair to compare these games. 10 hours to beat, and it is remembered as one of the best games to be released. I really enjoyed playing this game, and when I finished it, I was excited that I finished it. I thought it was a great game. I wanted to play more, of course, but I was like, wow, that was really good, really expressive, and really fun. 6.5 hours. You don't need your game to be long in order to be good. in comparison, if you look at the game statistics for how many people actually finish these games, we're looking at, it says 24% have finished, but if you look at like how many people actually just stopped playing after literally the first room, that's 63%. That means that it's probably a roughly 40% of people finish the game, which is pretty high. 45-50% of the people that played the game finished the game, and they're gonna have good memories of the game because they were actually able to finish it, and your brain is able to like, okay, beginning, end, and you're able to wrap it up a little bit better. If you compare that to, for example, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, however, it doesn't exactly work the exact same way. So Final Fantasy Remake Intergrade has a steep drop-off. A lot of people have played this game, but you look at some of these other things, very few people have actually gotten to the end, and almost nobody has actually completed the game. 1.8% of players have 100% of the game, and what is this? 30% of people have actually finished the game. That's like a crazy drop-off compared to even Donkey's game. Of course, it looks like people just don't want to finish games, but at the same time, allowing your players to finish the game will make them have better memories about the game, and therefore actually be able to conceptualize it, be able to talk about it better, and that kind of thing. And that's why I think when you look at these different levels, you don't really remember the final level of Banjo Tooie, but it's very easy and very fun to go back and remember the final level of Banjo Kazooie. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Please leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought. If you think I'm an idiot and I'm wrong for this, then tell me that. And if you agree with me and you could think of other examples, I'd love to hear those examples. So anyway, thanks, and I'll see you next time, guys.